there, my name is Jacob, and on behalf of It's a Patient Thing, I'd like to introduce our brand new program called It's a Patient Thing Interviews. We are going to be interviewing patients of GBS and CIDP to collect stories and collect information about how they cope and deal with their condition. And hopefully by doing this, we can all learn from one another about how to deal with this incredibly rare condition. Hello and welcome to the first installment of It's a Patient Thing Interviews. We are talking today with Joe Schreck, who is a relatively new to the condition known as Guillain-Barré. So Joe, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Joe Schreck. I was diagnosed in August of 2014. Started as what they thought was strep throat. Kind of went back and forth at one hospital for about a week. It turned out to be bilateral pneumonia. It got so bad that by the time I went to the next hospital, I think this was day 6. I could barely breathe at all, and I had already started with the numbness and tingling. I had no idea what it was, didn't understand it. And then from that point on, it was I was there 30 minutes. They admitted me to ICU, straight up to ICU. Spent about a day trying to convince me to let them intubate me. And it was to the point to where I was pretty much almost in respiratory arrest. I mean, it was bad, but I mean, I've intubated people myself, and the thought of that was not a very pleasing thing. So once they talked me into that, it kind of just went downhill from there. Went from, me going to the ER to I was suddenly, basically in a dream state. I mean, the things that I thought were going on were absolutely outrageous. The day that I woke up, I guess my medicine had ran out and they weren't aware. That's when I had realized that I was paralyzed. They had kind of explained it to me, but anything really after the intubation or right up before and then right after, you really don't remember much. So they had explained to me that was a possibility. I didn't realize how much of a possibility it was till I woke up. I basically laid there for about almost 4 hours, and to the point of the x-ray tech that came in and did my chest x-rays every morning finally came in. She went with the nurse and saw that I was awake, and I was freaking out. I mean, I thought I was tied down. I couldn't understand why I couldn't move, and they sat down and explained it to me. And I had been trached at this time too, so I guess it was probably about 2 weeks into me being in ICU. And then from there, it was, back into sedation. They kept me in a twilight until they started weaning me off the vent, which was probably like the worst experience out of the entire thing. So from there, that was 30 days that I spent there. I spent another 13 in an inpatient rehab center. I was supposed to be there 12 weeks. They said I'd leave with a walker and all that jazz, and I wound up just being able to walk out on my own. I put in a lot of work there, pushed really hard. And from there, it was just a fight to, get back to where I was before. I started school. I got out of there in September, did outpatient rehab until January when school finally started. And then from there, I went to school and was able to achieve that and get my paramedic license. And, now I'd say I'm probably back to maybe 80% of what I was before. I was really, really healthy, really in shape, I was an EMT. I rode all the time. So it was definitely a big change going from where I was to this illness.
So that's just a snippet. The entire interview is about an hour long. If you're interested in watching that, please join us on our YouTube page.